I think we may need to discuss this hair for a few minutes.
Oh, don't you dare look back, just keep your eyes on me. I said you're holding back. She said shut up and dance with me. This woman is my destiny. She said ooh, ooh, shut up and dance with me. We were victims of the night.
Hello, and welcome to episode 45 of KnitScents. My name is Jan, and you can find me as Jan Ellen RN on Ravelry and on Instagram. I do have a Vero account. I don't think I've been on that thing in a month. But we do have a group on Ravelry, the KnitScents podcast group, so I hope you will come and join us over there. And we also have a Facebook page, which is facebook.com/KnitScents. So I hope you'll come and join us over there. It has been, I'm going to say almost 3 weeks. I did miss 2 weeks of recording. One was thanks to a stomach plague that worked its way through the house. And just when I thought I was done with it, it came back. So that was a week of really just not good. And then I had last week, I was all set to record, and I had gone to Starbucks, ordered my normal drink that I have had since I can remember Starbucks opening, drinking this same drink, and had this bizarre allergic reaction where my entire face swelled up, my eyes swelled up. It took several days for things to calm down, which is why there's absolutely nothing on my eyes right now, because I'm going to the allergist on Monday, because there really wasn't anything new or anything that would cause it. So that took another couple of days off, and so here we are. For a quiet 2 weeks, it hasn't been particularly quiet. What else? Yeah, the hair thing. I finally went yesterday for my annual, what is now coming to be 3-week root dealings with. And I don't know, we wanted to do something different and whatever. So she decided to put layers in, and my hair, which is naturally kind of wavy, bordering on really curly. So she decided to sort of play that up while I've spent my entire life trying to play it down. So this sort of like is my calmed down version of her curled up version. More information than you needed to know. I don't know, let's just hope when I go to wash it myself I could do something else with it, but it's a hot mess, but that's okay. I've been a hot mess for 2 weeks. The hair is the least of my worries. So how is everybody? How were your holidays? I hope everybody had a good holiday and enjoyed and is enjoying some spring weather. The weather here has been crazy pants, crazy. I think the last time I recorded it was either snowing or about to snow. That was like 2 or 3 weeks ago. It's been freezing outside. I left today. I went out to run errands, and it looked like it was sunny out, so I didn't put on my coat, which I actually did have a down coat on yesterday. It was cold out. It was cold the day before. I go out yesterday. I'm just wearing a t-shirt, long sleeve t-shirt, and I had a denim jacket on, and like was hit with this wave of heat. It was almost 80 degrees outside. I was like, where did this come from? It was 40 yesterday. I'm not complaining much. So evidently, we're going to have 2 really nice spring days here, and then Saturday it's going to get cold again with a nice cold heavy rain. Probably going to cancel the ball game, which is really going to make me ticked off, but that's the weather situation here. Lot of knitting getting done. I have literally kind of limited myself to 2 projects. I was hoping to get one of them done for the SSK Knit Along, the teacher Cal. But once I kind of put a deadline on myself, that wore off. Go figure. And I could have gotten it done. Gosh, my nose is itching. Somebody's going to get in a fight. But I kind of wanted to enjoy the knit and not really rush myself. So I will show that to you. And my squared was the other thing that I really have been working on and made a lot of progress on. I do have a finished object, which I will show you. I have done some spinning. And while I was home recuperating, I somehow managed to do some stash enhancement by phone, by internet, by my husband being in the city and calling up yarn stores and having him pick up stuff. Yeah, it's kind of been that kind of way. So, and we also have a drawing today for our knit along, our first quarter, probably our only quarter knit along, which I did get a chance to go to one of my local yarn stores and found something that I really, really liked because I wanted to get something special for this one. So I will show you that. So that's about it. That's me blathering on over nothing for 6 minutes. And so let's just hop into the knitting, shall we? I think, wait, it's just so dry. I have my window and my sliding door open, and I think all I have done is suck in the hot air because I'm right now just literally dying of heat. So I cast on, since I last recorded, a pattern by chair noise. God, I hate that noise. All right. Sorry. No. If you have earbuds in, God, I feel sorry. I really apologize. I had ordered the kit, and I don't know if I showed it when the kit came or if it came after I recorded, but essentially I ordered the kit from Craftsy for the novelty sweater, which is a pattern by Laura Nelkin, which uses her Novus construction, which is the same construction that I used, if you remember, for the baby Novus sweater that I test knit a few months back for Laura. So this is the sweater. This is the novelty sweater. And I just thought it was adorable. It was really great summer t-shirt. And it's knit out of 100% cotton. And the kits, if you're interested, they are still 50% off. They are on sale on Craftsy. I think the kit for my size ended up being like $25. $32, I think, with the shipping, whatever it was. But I vaguely remember that I did talk about this, getting the kit the last time. I'm not sure. But at any rate, I did cast on. The yarn I picked was the colorway Soft Pink, and it's all done in the Pima Cotton. It's going to be one of those episodes. I can see it already. Chair noise with 100 interruptions. Anyway. It is done out of the, it's the Craftsy brand yarn. It's their proprietary brand, which is Cloudborn. And this is 100%, or it's the Pima Cotton DK. And the colorway I used is Soft Pink. And here's what I have. I've gotten a lot of it done. I'm pretty pleased with the progress. Let me just turn it right side out. Okay, so what you do is you start the pattern right here with this edge of the right sleeve. And you work the sleeve for however many rows. And in this one, I am going to say swatching is super important and row count is super important because you're knitting your sweater this way. You're not knitting your sweater this way. So it's not like knit to, 15 inches and start your armhole. You're knitting this way. So if you're not getting the right number of rows, your sweater is likely going to be either too wide or too narrow or too something, and you're not going to be happy with that. So you really do need to gauge swatch. And Laura gives you a lot of tips on how to gauge swatch the cotton so that it acts the swatch will act exactly as the garment will act when you wear it. So you get an accurate result. And I did get gauge, which was fortunate. So anyway, so after you knit the sleeve, you then cast on, let's see if I can open this up. You cast on provisionally for both the front and the back. And then you start knitting, that's the front, knitting the front and the back together for a bit, as you can see from here to where you split for the neckline. Then you join a second ball, and then you do your neckline increases and decreases, and all the while you're knitting the body. Then you rejoin over here, and you work the left shoulder, and then you put both of these front and the back on holders, and I am now coming down the left sleeve. All right, and that basically finishes the body. Super easy knit, it just takes some time. That's it. And you can see that front has a very nice little V-neck on it, which was kind of easy to do. The only thing, and unfortunately I read about it a little too late, was some people were saying that they did a few rows of garter on the sleeve to keep it from rolling before they began the pattern. I did not, but the pictures that I've seen of the sweater after blocking, I really didn't see it rolling very much, so I'm kind of hoping that it doesn't roll. And what's going to happen once this sleeve is finished, then you end up picking up the sleeves from the bottom of the, picking up stitches, I'm sorry, from under the bottom of the sleeve, taking these stitches that are on holders here, and you're going to knit a lace panel very similar to this lace panel, and it's going to run down this side, and the same lace panel is going to run down this side, and what that's going to do is it's going to connect your front and your back, and you will have a cotton t-shirt, which is really, like I said, super simple to knit. This was not complicated. It was just a matter of doing the increases and decreases. If I can memorize this lace pattern, it's 4 rows, 2 of them are purl back, so it's literally 2 rows. Super, super simple, very fun knit, but again, like I said, it was just time consuming. Oops, and my yarn went flying. Okay. I did try it on, and from what I can tell when I add the panels in, it should fit me just fine. I think I am knitting the small. And like I said, I learned from that weekend sweater. Gauge and take your measurements and knit according to your measurements. Don't make them up. And don't make up your gauge. It probably will not work out very well. But if you're looking for a really great cotton summer sweater, I can't recommend this one highly enough. Laura's patterns are written to the point where you really can't mess them up. You really can't. And it seems like it's a complicated construction. It's actually so simple. It's like, how come nobody ever thought of this before? You don't have to seam. You have this beautiful open lace panel on either side, and you're eating up your stitches as you go. So it's super, super simple. Laura walks you through it. It's very easy to connect the front and the back. You just pick up a couple stitches for the sleeves. No big deal. And like I said, it's very similar and the same kind of construction for the Novus baby cardigan that I did. So once you learn this construction, and on this particular garment, the novelty, this is a super simple one to learn it on. You can then go on and she has several really beautiful sweaters using this particular construction that are a little bit more involved, that have cables and such. So that would be great if you learn the construction on something like this and then want to go on and do some of the more complicated patterns. You're golden. You'll be able to do it just fine. So that is the novelty sweater, t-shirt, whatever, from Laura Nelkin. The kits are available still on Craftsy. Again, you can use any cotton or really any DK weight yarn. You could do it in wool if you wanted to. I'm not sure I would knit this out of wool for the fall, only because the panels are open. So I guess you could, and then wear it over like a long sleeve tee, but at that point, I'd probably choose something else. I think this is the perfect spring summer t-shirt, and I think it's great for that. So I don't know that I would knit it out of wool. I might knit it out of wool if I was going to wear it maybe just for fall and I lived in a cooler climate. That I might do, and wear like a cami underneath it. That's a possibility. But again, the kits are really inexpensive on craftsy.com. They still have a lot of colors left. And they do come, it's priced according to your size. So that got a lot of love. The other thing that got a lot of love was my squared poncho. And whilst we're bringing it out, I don't think I had shown this bag. I do not know where I ordered it from, but I was like, you know, I'm using all these beautiful colors and all these things, and I'm putting them in my knitting bags, which are nice, you know, nice, but I needed a large knitting bag for this. And I was like, heck, I want to show all the colors. I want to show everything. So this actually is a bag from Hedgehog Fibers. I don't think I ordered it from them. I know there are a lot of retailers that carry this particular bag, and all it is an acrylic tote bag, really, that's clear, that you can see through. So don't make your bag messy if you want to use this one. And it comes with this laser etched disc with the Hedgehog Fiber logo on it. So where we're at, this is what I have left. My two remaining skeins of, well, these are the original two skeins of the graphite. This is the amount that I have left. Let's see if we can show that. Will it be enough? I think so. But I didn't take any chances, and I have a third skein anyway. So if I do need to dip into that one, I will probably just pull from the inside and the outside, rather than wind it off into two skeins. I am working my I-cord on double point needles, as you will see. And here we are. The body of, did I get everything? Yes. The body of the poncho is done. So, oops, something just fell. I'm going to actually stand up here and show. Oh my God. All right, I'm not, this is a totally G-rated podcast, so I'm just going to say I have skeins bouncing everywhere. You can take that any way you want, but there are skeins bouncing all over. I'm not sure where I was last time. I know I had not yet finished the body of the garment, but it is finished now. So I'm going to like pop it on, or I'm going to try to pop it on. Let's see if we can do that. Okay. All right. Woo. Okay. This thing is heavy. It is very heavy. All right. So I'm going to pull a little bit so that where am I with the, I don't know where I am with the, I must be in the back here. There I am. Okay. So again, I'm going to try standing on the chair. Let's try the chair trick, because you can see this thing is large. It is very, very large. Okay. So I'm working my way now across the back with the attached I-cord. Okay, so these, I think, were the last two squares that I did. These were the two, I think, that I did before that. So we worked our way across here. So I'm not sure where I was when I showed it before, but this is the front. And the front is done last. So that's it. We've done the back. We've seen the back before. So that's it. The body of it is completely finished. The I-cord, if you're not up to that part yet, the I-cord started on one single stitch that was held on a holder at the back of the neck. I don't know how well this is going to show. So let's see. Okay, obviously you can't really tell because the stitch started the I-cord. I took that one stitch, cast on my 3, and then started to attach the I-cord. And I've gone up the back. This is the back. No. What the heck I'm talking about? This is the front. Gone down the front. It gives you the direction. You start back at the back of the neck. You come down. You're going around the entire width of the back. Come back up over the whole length of the front, back across the front, and then back up the side, and you join it back at the back of the neck. What I wanted to point out, the attached I-cord is actually super easy to do. And it comes out, it just gives such a really beautiful finished edge to it. The corners, I didn't do anything special on the corners. I just went in for the next stitch and it worked. I did not weave in my ends yet. There's a shocker. You're probably going to notice a completely different lighting, totally different glare. That's because it's about an hour after I recorded the last time. And for some reason, literally half of what I recorded is gone. Just gone. I finished, and all I got up to that was saved was what I was talking about with the squared poncho. So in the interest of not starting over again, I'm going to sort of try to pick up where I left off, and we're going to take it from there. But if I seem more discombobulated than normal, that's why, because this is the second time around, and I have no idea what I'm doing. I mean, really, my brain is fried at this point. Yeah, and I have a polka dot baker sitting behind me, which I'm actually just going to get up and move out of the way. I had cleaned everything up. I put everything away, and like I said, I went to start editing, and just literally half of this was missing. Okay, we were at literally discussing the bind off for the squared poncho. And what I wanted to point out, and I actually had done a small tutorial the last time. If anyone is interested, I will do it with my camera next time because I'm not sure it actually even came out all that great anyway. But what I wanted to point out was you're attaching the I-cord all the way around. Now, for the most part, on the sides of each of the long edges, you're attaching to your slip stitches, which is very neat. You've been picking them up all along to attach your sections together. So to attach the I-cord to pick that up and knit it is easy peasy. At the very ends, you have stitches on, or have stitches either on needles or on holders. I'm trying to find where mine are because I did one of the ones that I had on holders. I don't know. Like I said, I am completely just literally discombobulated, and here we go. Stuck on the needle. One part of your stitches will be on holders. Those are easy. You just zip them back onto one needle, and then one at a time you knit each stitch and bind it off into the I-cord. That part's easy. What I wanted to point out is there are two sections in actually it's just across the back. It's really the whole section across the back where you cast on, where you don't have a slip stitch to pick up, and you don't have a live stitch on a holder to pick up. So that's where I wanted to show. That's actually where I'm at now. So what I'm doing is literally just going into the next stitch of the cast on right there, each one of those. And I'm picking up, if you look at the top, you can see the full cast on stitch. I hope you can see that. I'm just picking up, let me get out my other needle. I'm going to do this, we'll do it the right way. I did this whole tutorial already. It's Friday the 13th, okay? If it wasn't, I'd swear it was April Fool's Day. So it's just going to be one of those days. Okay, if this doesn't work for you, I will try to do it with my regular camera, but it's really not that difficult. You have your 3 stitches. Let's see if I can get this a little bit better. On here, from your I-cord. And what I'm trying to point out here is what you're picking up is your cast on it from your cast on edge. And where I'm going is into this leg of the cast on stitch, making sure I pick up both threads. So I would pick up here would be my next one, and then right there would be my next one, and then right next to it, these 2 would be the next one. Here we're getting into a lighter area, which may be easier to see. These 2, these 2, and what happens is this is the wrong side, and you can see how nicely it rolls over. It's nice and even, and on the right side, same thing. It makes a nice and easy bind off, and I don't know if I pointed this out in what saved or what didn't save, but you can see where I dropped a stitch or part of a stitch, and I don't know if I'll pull that through with a crochet hook or just leave it and say you're standing too close if you see it, but either way. So that is my squared. It just got stuck on the table, probably ripped something out. So I think it's time, before I do any more damage, to put this away and press on. Well, I did go out of order last time, so at least now I learned, and I can go. Just dropped all my needles. Sorry. Yeah, I am really a hot mess today. Okay, just not even going to put it away. Just leave it over there. Okay, oh, I have one more thing for knitting, which you've all seen before. You're sick of seeing. I don't blame anybody. I think it counts as a work in progress because I think I did like 1 row on it. It's my sock, my same old sock. But in a minute, you will see why I need to finish these socks. I did my Fish Lips Kiss heel, which is kind of like my go-to heel. I love it. I memorized it. It's easy to do. I'm working my way down the foot. I want my socks finished. And this is only the first one. And I want to finish them, and you'll see why. Because I have another pair I want to knit. So that's the only other thing that got even remote amount of love this week, or these last few weeks, was a couple of rows on that sock. That was it. And I'm actually going to have to pause again because I had spinning and a whole thing with it, and I didn't bring that back in. So I will be right back. Okay, doing this once is one thing, but doing it twice is like twice as confusing because you don't know what you covered, you don't know what got lost. Like I said, there were I had a lot of interruptions, and apparently some of it saved and some of it didn't save, and I don't know what saved and what didn't. So this may be the just most disjointed episode, and trust me, a lot of my episodes are pretty disjointed and don't make sense to begin with, so I just might outdo myself this time. Anyway, let's move on. I have a finished object, which I ended up out of place last time, so we're going to put it in the right place this time. I have an FO, which is what I am wearing, and it is my Millie sweater, which I did finish. It is the Millie sweater. It is by Nice and Knit. I did use their yarn, which is Nice and Knit. I don't have the colorway in front of me. I have nothing in front of me. I don't even have it on my progress page. What I can say is I believe The skeins are, I think, 480 yards. Don't quote me on it, but they're generous skeins. It is fingering weight yarn, so it's a fingering weight sweater. I did not even use 2 full skeins. Okay, I bought 3. I have 1 that I have not even wound, and I have a bit left of my second skein. Now I'm going to stand up. Let's see if I can avoid standing on the chair. No. Can I? Let's see. Maybe if I back up a little bit. I can avoid standing on the chair. There we go. Okay. So you can see it is a boxy sweater. I did make the small, thank goodness. I was going to make the medium, but I learned from my Weekender sweater, take your actual measurements, use your measurements, the measurements in the schematic, and swatch. And if you do that, there's a good chance your sweater will fit. So it is meant to be boxy. It is meant to be oversized. The sleeves, however, are fitted, and my sleeves do fit perfectly. They are not too tight. The underarm is a raglan, so there's no tightness under here. Again, I could have made it longer. For me, I think this length was fine. I think on most people it would actually fit shorter, but because there is nothing. Here is my waist. Here's my hip. Okay? To say that I'm short-waisted is not even like, I'm no-waisted. No, I'm not even short-waisted. I'm no-waisted. So for me to shorten things in here was, it's just normal. But this was so, I figured this would, it normally would come here. On me, it came to a normal length, so there is some advantage to being short-waisted. The only modification I did do was I did shorten the sleeves a little bit. And I think it was where I shortened it was in the ribbing. I did the actual length of the sleeve, but the ribbing I think was supposed to be 4.5 inches. And when I got to, I think it was 3.5, I realized if I went any longer, it was going to hit me at a really stupid spot. And right now, like, if I leave the sleeves out, it's fine. There's plenty of room to bend my arms. But I can also pull them up a little bit just over the elbow, and there's not too much fabric up here, which I didn't want. So that was the only modification I made, was to shorten the sleeves a little bit. And I usually do that on almost everything because my arms are not normal length. They're not even close to normal length. The only other modification I would do, and again, this was a super easy raglan stockinette sweater. This was not in any way complicated. I would absolutely knit it again. It, like I said, 2 skeins, tops 3 if you don't have that, much yardage. It looked really nice in a speckled yarn. I'm sure it would look nice in a variegated yarn. The only thing I might do different is there's really no shaping at all at the neck. The front is and the back are exactly the same. So you could wear it either way. I don't dislike it. It's not uncomfortable at all. But I think if I knit it again, I probably would add some short rows to the back and maybe a little bit, just a couple of decreases maybe in the front, just to distinguish the front from the back so that it had a little bit more shaping, maybe, like that. Came a little bit further down in the front and maybe brought the back up a little bit higher, something like that. Other than that, it is so comfortable. It is very, very lightweight. It is nice and cool. Highly recommend this pattern. It was a super fun, super easy knit. I hope I just didn't make everybody nauseous. Okay, so that was my finished object. On to spinning, which also got cut out into the, I don't even know, and there's boxes where I had obviously clearly recorded something and they're just blank. So here I am again, sitting here with hair that I just really want to just burn off my head, doing this twice. Okay, I did do some spinning, and what I started was I decided to start the patchwork quilt from, and I hope that the fan is not interfering with the sound on this thing, because that's a problem I also had before. All right. I decided to start knitting the patchwork quilt from Hello Yarn. And what that is it is a pound of fiber that comes in a big plastic bag, and it's little 1 ounce pieces from all of her different club colorways. Now you can get a bunch from the same colorway in the bag, and she does try to put colors that will go together in the same bag. So in other words, you're not going to get, one end of the spectrum and the other, greens and oranges and pinks all thrown into the same bag. She does try to put them in some sort of cohesive way, which is great. And I had been watching the Knit Girls, and Laura knit this stunning blanket out of, I'm not sure if it was one or a little more than one of her patchwork quilts, and she had set Leslie up to separate it out and shown her how she did it with the colors and explained how she did it, and I decided, why not? I'll try to do the same thing and spin it that way. So here's what I have so far. I really have just started kind of on the spin of it. I was more on the separating out and deciding what to do with the colors. So here's what I started spinning. I am spinning this on my matchless in double drive. And the goal here will be to chain ply this to keep the colors together so that we're not dealing with a color explosion, that at least the different colorways will be kept together. And what I did, and this is only the first batch, was I picked out the bumps that were similar or looked like they all probably came from the same colorway, from the same club colorway. So I picked out those to spin end to end together. This one has like a little bit more blue in it, this one with a little bit more of the orange, but you can see there's orange and blue in here, there's blue in here. So these will be spun back to back. And I think, no, that was it. And then there's two more that are similar. This one came, I would imagine, from either the same or very similar colorway, because you can see this has the same browns in it, only this has more of the brown. And this one has the gold in it, but is now picking up and got a lot of pinks in it and is going toward cream. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spin these three with the one that I'm working on now. These are all the same, obviously from the same colorway. And then what I was going to do is probably split this in half and spin half of it, split this one in half, spin half of it, then go back to this and go back to this to blend it so that it's almost like you would fade when you fade, like in Andrea Mowry's method of fading, is not to just sort of fade, it's to go back and forth a little bit more and then a little more and a little more and take away until you've gotten over to the new color. And then this one, which still goes with these colors, will be the last, and then I will go into the next ones which have more of the pinks in them and pull out those. And then that way it'll be more, I'm going to put these back in the bottom so I know these are the last two. And hopefully that will keep the colors somewhat together, somewhat cohesive, so that when I do go to ply this whole thing, that it will ply in more of an ombre or a faded type of effect. So that's what I've been working on spinning wise. I'm really enjoying this fiber. I have absolutely no idea what it is, but this is springy stuff. I'm not even pulling on it. I am putting absolutely no tension on this at all, and you can see how springy it is. Now I'm actually pulling on it, and it is just springing back and forth. There is a lot of spring to this fiber. I'd be very curious to see what it is. It doesn't feel to me like BFL, but I haven't spun BFL in a while, so I'm kind of interested. I may actually reach out to her and see if she can tell me what fibers are in that. So that's my spinning, which brings me to stash enhancement. Or it did at least last time I recorded. For someone who was sort of laid up for 2 weeks or so, I did manage to, through the phone, through ordering online, through sending my husband to various and sundry yarn stores, managed to accumulate through the week. So first things first, we all know I'm completely obsessed with enamel pins, just obsessed. So what happens when you fill up your bags with enamel pins, you need more bags to put the enamel pins on, which really isn't the reason I got this one. I am obsessed with these Fringe Supply Company bags. I love them. If you've never heard of them, they are sort of a natural canvas. They come in, let's see, gray, a dark gray, a light gray, a natural, and I think this blue. I think those are those four colors are pretty much available, depending on the yarn store or on the Fringe Supply Company website. Then there are some exclusive colors. La Bien-Aimée has a yellow bag, which is exclusive to her. Pearl Soho has an orange bag that's exclusive to her. I'm not sure who else. I know they come out with camouflage bags, and there was another print kind of bag that was a limited edition. But at any rate, these bags are really fabulous for on the go. They're simple drawstring bags. They have a leather handle. They sit flat in the wild. Literally just can knit right out of them. And I like the fact they're big on the inside, and they do have one of the pockets has 3 grommets on it. And I know I've shown this before. So if you want to knit in the park or knit outside, you don't want your yarn flying out of your bag all over the place, you can just run it through these grommets. It will sit nicely in the bag. You can knit from there. And it's a great place to hold your enamel pins. So these are some of the new pins that I've gotten. This one is Argyle Yarn Shop. I don't know if I had shown this one before. This was from a yarn store that I visited in Brooklyn. This one I just got. It says Knit Pearl with 2 knitting needles. I bought this in my local yarn shop. I don't remember where I got this one. The one that says wool. Don't remember. The sloth, which I'm pretty sure is a Shelly Can design, I got at my local yarn shop. This one that says I feel like knit, I got at my local yarn shop, and this is the local yarn shop that I got them at. It's called The Knitting Place. It is located in Port Washington here on Long Island, and I love their little pin too. So those are the pins that I got there. Wool, I don't remember where I got. This one, this is the No Drama Llama, and we can all use a No Drama Llama. This one I purchased on Amazon, so I will put the link for that one below. This one, I've gotten a lot of people asking me where I purchased this one. If you are younger than I am, or perhaps do not know or are not familiar with, this is actually an enamel pin of Stevie Nicks from Fleetwood Mac. I don't know if you can tell, but the white here is actually glitter. It is a gorgeous, gorgeous pin. You can see from comparison to the other ones, it's absolutely huge, but it's nice and solid. It's from a company, Memento something. I will link it below. I know as of today, they still do have these available. They have a number of interesting enamel pins if that's something that you collect. But if you are interested in the Stevie Nicks pin, again, I will link that one below. This one and this one, I believe, are both Shelly Can. This one, like I said, is from Amazon. I'll put that link below. This one is from the Argyle Yarn Shop. Now, this one is very interesting how I came about this one. This is a pot of gold. at the end of the rainbow. Here's the cloud, here's the rainbow, here's the pot of gold with the knitting needles and the multicolored balls of yarn sitting in the adorable pot. And it was funny because I must have gotten an email, is how this happened. And I must have gotten an email from Expression Fiber Arts. And it was regarding their April 2018 Insiders Yarn Club. Now, I have never, to my knowledge, that I can think of or remember, been in their yarn club before or ordered from the yarn club, because their yarn club is not a subscription. It's like they offer it monthly, and if you like it, you order that month, and if you don't like it, you don't order that month. What happened was this month came with, and what they do is they give you 2 inspiration pictures, and they dye up 2 colors of yarn based on those inspiration pictures, and then I guess they include something else with it, and the something else with it that they included was that pin, the rainbow pin. And I must have seen the pin and said, I don't care what yarn comes with it, I want the pin, so I'll order the yarn. And the fact they did give the fiber content, and the fact that the fiber content of the yarn was 50 yak and 50 silk didn't hurt, because I figured you can't go wrong. So there were 2 choices. One was, I believe, unicorn, and one was rainbow. I chose rainbow, and here's what I got. And it is stunning. I am absolutely in love with this skein. It's, again, Expression Fiber Arts. And the content, it is yak silk lace weight yarn. It is 50% yak down, 50% silk, and it's 680 yards. So it's going to make a really nice lace garment. I just am curious, and I may wait to see how others knit up, to see how this rainbow comes out. Does it come out like all blue, and then you get a beautiful rainbow, and then it goes back to blue? That's what I'm thinking. Just by looking at the way it's wound up, I'm thinking that the rainbow is going to come in one spot. They do give you suggestions for patterns. Unfortunately, the pattern that it suggested was Citron by Hilary Smith Kali, and I had actually knit that once before, and I don't think I have it in me to knit it again. So I think I'm going to pass on that one and see what other people do. But it is a beautiful yarn, and again, like I said, I likely ordered it because it came with, I didn't likely, I ordered it because it came with the pin. So that was one thing of stash enhancement. The reason I am desperate to finish my Bing Crosby and the Andrews Sisters socks is because I had ordered from Desert Disney Dye Works, and it just came yesterday, I think, another skein in a new color called Orcas. And I'm obsessed with this. This is pink. It is lavender, it has purples, it has cream, it has blue, and it has black. And I need a pair of these socks in my life, like now. I this time did not go with her sparkle base. I ordered this on the Viso base because I thought the colors were so stunning. I did not want to take away from them in any way. I just wanted these colors to absolutely shine, and I think they really, really do. Do I think it would look gorgeous in sparkle base? Absolutely. Will I might have to go back after seeing how they knit up and get it in the sparkle base? Absolutely. But I decided for this one, I don't know how to turn that off. This computer really, obviously after deleting what I had recorded, is giving me trouble, and I don't want to mess with anything lest it delete this again. And we're going to have half an episode go up because I don't have the strength to do it a third time. So whatever dinging, I apologize. I really do. A couple of other things. This actually, I had opened on camera. It came in the mail before I recorded, so I opened it up and we all looked at it together and it got deleted. So the upshot of it is, this is my loopy club for this month, and it is Niagara Mist. And I'm almost kind of glad that section got deleted, because I have to say, I opened it up and I took one look at this yarn, and I think the way I put it was, I'm really not feeling it. Let me look at the pattern. I'm not loving it. And I couldn't have been more wrong. You know, first of all, I've really stepped outside my color box. I really have. But I saw this blue and chartreuse, and after, like I said, after that moral experience, I'm so, like, paranoid about clown barf right now that all I could see was clown barf. With the colors, I saw the chartreuse, and I was like, oh, not again, because that's what pushed it over the edge the last time. So I'm kind of glad I got a chance to redo it. This is actually Ba Aspen yarn. I think Aspen is the base. So it's Ba yarn on their Aspen base. It's 75% merino, 15% silk, and 100%, 100% is too many. I'm like, my head is really gone. 75% merino, 15% silk, 10% cashmere, 330 yards. Okay. And once I saw the pattern, I was all over it. I was like, absolutely. The pattern, and she always gives you, in the Loops Club, she gives you, you get the yarn, sometimes you get goodies with it, and you always get a knit pattern and a crochet pattern, and then she starts a thread with alternate patterns that you can do. But I'm looking at the knit pattern, and I was like, okay, yeah, I see why. Because the chartreuse makes its own section. Just like I'm thinking on that rainbow yarn, the rainbow makes its own section and the blue is separate. I could totally see this. I could totally get into this. And being 330 yards, I don't think this is going to be a massive, this looks like some kind of version of bird's eye lace or something. This looks like it just has eyelets in it. This does not look like a complicated pattern. It's obviously not a huge shawl. It's only 300 and something yards. So I'm thinking, yeah, I think that's totally doable. So I've had a chance to redeem myself rather than saying, oh my God, what am I going to do with this chartreuse yarn? And it actually really is super, super soft. The merino silk cashmere base is really, really soft. And again, once I looked at it and realized that this green will sit together, I really love the blue-green combos here. The darker green and the blues and the tonal blues in there. So yeah, I think actually, you know, and I'm really bad. I don't know that I've knit. I think I knit one of these loop projects, and I have made that a goal to start knitting these and the Lola's Choice ones, to have one on the needles all the time, because they're quick knits. They're nice palette cleansers, and they're finishable. They're not like squared where you're like, oh my God, you know, it's going to go on and on forever, or even a sweater. It's something that you can see the end of it when you start. So that was another thing. I don't remember where I saw these or who showed them or who talked me into it. But I did see that somebody had shown these scissors, and you can order them with this case or without. It was a few dollars more with the case. I decided to get the case because I knew what would happen if I didn't get the case. But the scissors are a holographic unicorn. How could you not? I mean, I'm all about the unicorn this year. I do not know why. But also because these are really, really nice, sharp, pointy scissors. Like really sharp. Like I'm not going to stick my finger in there again. I've had enough disasters for one day. I believe the vendor is Scissorland, and I will link it below. It is an Etsy shop. She does have different types of scissors, different designs, different, I don't know, animals or whatever. But these are really, really nice scissors. And just from personal experience, I would highly recommend getting the case, or at least if you have a case, keep your scissors in a case and use your scissors only for what you designate them for. In other words, I have scissors that I use for paper when I cut paper. I don't cut wool with those scissors. I don't cut anything else but paper with those particular scissors. The reason I say it with these actually would make very good steeping scissors. They're very sharp and they're very pointy. But if you're going to use scissors for that purpose, you don't want to dull your scissors by cutting up pieces of rubber or rubber band or paper even. You want to keep your scissors for whatever purpose you use them for. That will just keep your scissors sharper for longer and in much better condition. So that's my handy tip for today. Anyway, I will link these below. These are from Scissorland. It is a shop on Etsy. The other thing that I got was Laura Nelkin had posted, actually it was a couple of weeks ago, she had asked if there would be any interest in a travel beading kit. Now many of us had gotten one with one of our Lola's Choice kits. And the one that she sent, I'm not even sure what the one that she sent came with. I know it did come with the tin and with the crochet hook. I think it might have had a couple of stitch markers in it. It had different content, but it was a wonderful tool, an absolutely wonderful tool. And everyone was like, absolutely, we would be totally interested. So she put them up and literally they sold out within a couple of hours. So I was lucky enough to snag one of them. I know she has already reached out to her vendors and suppliers of the content to order more, and she is looking to have more in her Etsy shop. So as soon as I hear that they're up there, I will pass it along. What comes in the kit is basically just a dental floss threader, which that you could pick up really anywhere. But that's for pre-stringing beads. So that's very handy, but what came in here was 2 different sizes of crochet hooks, and I don't think in the ones that we got from the Lola's Choice, I don't think we got 2 sizes of crochet hook. I could be wrong. I know we did get 1 crochet hook, and like I said, I think we got some stitch markers and stuff in ours. So what you do with this is you basically put your beads in here, and you have your 2 travel crochet hooks, which come with these, hookless safety pins or whatever on. So you can actually hook it right onto your project if you want, or keep it in the tin, or just keep your beads in the tin, hook this onto your projects. And what you can do, I mean, obviously you're not going to take an intricate beaded lace project that has double-sided lace, and some people, Laura would. Laura could do it in the dark at night. I don't know how that woman does. But there are a lot of beaded projects, and I'm thinking particularly right now in Minds of the Flosaic that I'm working on and haven't touched in a while, but it's a super simple beaded project. It's basically just stockinette that you're doing increases on and adding beads here and there. No reason you can't take it on the go. But do you really want to go with your crochet hook and bags of beads and stuff? You pop your beads in here, you have your little crochet hooks, you tuck this in with your item, and you can bead on the go. Especially Laura's little smaller projects, her accessory projects that just require placing beads here and there. This is great. So again, check out Laura's Etsy shop. I know these will be available again soon. I know she's already ordering what to put in there, but we did add that. Along with that, last year or the year before, I had done Spinzilla. And I discovered a part of my body that I had not ever had an issue with before, and that was my rotator cuff, which permanently knocked me out of Spinzilla. The pain was that bad. And during that time, I was having a very difficult time with my pocketbook. I was trying to get a lighter one and whatever, and then I tried to get a backpack. Well, the backpacks were heavier than the pocketbooks, and then when you take them off, you had to first open them. It was a pain in the neck. Recently, I saw this backpack on Do You Knit on their podcast, and it's by Ritual Dyes, and it's basically just canvas. It's an open backpack. Now it does close through this leather loop. So if you do go to put it on your back, you would slide this through to close it, and here's your backpack. You just slide your arms through. What most people do and it's totally doable with this, is you just sling it on and carry it as a sling bag. Totally comfortable, totally easy to do. But what I loved about it was that it opens up, it stands up by itself, and it's completely unlined and empty on the inside, which means that you can take this for your knitting bag, you can throw in your wallet, throw in your stuff, you can carry it as a sling bag, you can carry it as a backpack, and your knitting will just sit down and you can knit straight out of the bag without worrying about your stuff going anywhere. This to me is great for the spring, summer, when you're on the road, when you're on the go. Throw your knitting in here. You don't have to worry about taking a big sling bag and then throwing all your knitting bags in it. Here you can put your knitting directly in there, throw in a wallet, throw in your whatever else you need, and you're all ready and you're on the go. I love this. And so I had to get one. Not to mention, it made for a great place and a big place to put even more enamel pins. So I got the Do You Knit pin, which is a custom pin made by Shelly Can for Do You Knit, which again is a yarn store in Westfield, New Jersey, although she is moving. So here it is, and it is a taxi cab full of pink yarn and says, I heart you, I love you on it, and it's absolutely adorable. Now, I had actually gotten this same design of the taxi cab from Shelly Can. Mine is gold, and the license plate says BKL 2018 because she did do a custom one for Vogue Knitting Live 2018, and I was fortunate enough to get it before that one sold out. So we all know I'm all about the enamel pins. It has two clips on the back. I'm going to recommend, if you are really into the enamel pins and you put them on your bags, and I don't know if I had mentioned this before, but I will mention it now and I will link it below. I would not recommend using these rubber backs. It's too easy to come off and it's too easy to lose your pin. And my pins, to me, I would be devastated. The clutch backs are a little bit better, but if you really want some peace of mind and some security, you can purchase on Etsy, and they're very inexpensive. I think it's $8 for like 50 of them. I will put the link below. And they're called locking pin backs. And let me actually, you can see them. I have them right here. All of my pins in this bag are on with the locking pin backs. And like I said, they come in a really nice case, and it's sectioned. It's like 6 sections in the case of just these backs, and I've replaced every single one of the pin backs with these locking backs. And the point is, you can pull on this pin all you want. It's not going to come off. There's actually this spring-loaded top, and it's not actually easy to get off. You have to do it the right way, is to pull up on the spring-loaded piece and then pull it off. That's the only way that this is going to come off. And if you push it down, you just push it down till it clicks. Now watch, now it's not going to work. Just to fix my wagon. Okay. And then when you pull it, it is not going to come off until you literally just pull the top of this up by itself. That's the only way. And they lock on tight. So if you are into collecting enamel pins, like I said, if I had lost this one, I'd be really, really upset. Sometimes I will use one locking pin back and one clutch back on it if I really feel like it's not a big deal. So far, I haven't had that, and I've been using locking ones just to be sure. But if you are into collecting enamel pins, I surely would not recommend these rubber back ones. If nothing else, replace them with the clutch backs. But again, the locking ones are so inexpensive. Again, I think it's like $8, something like that, for a package of 50. I would highly recommend that. So that ends my recast of everything. The only thing I am missing and I am going to have to, actually, you know what? I'm going to use my phone. I'm not going to pause this again. We're going to use my phone. The knit along. I was super, super excited with our first quarter cow, which maybe our only quarter cow, but I was really, really touched by the amount of enthusiasm and the participation that we had this time. I mean, we've done knit-alongs before, and it's been really, really minimal. And this meant a lot to me that we had. I mean, I think there were 17, I'm going to say, entries, because like I said, I went through all this already. Now we're going to do it again, but I really was very excited. So I wanted to get something special for this giveaway, for this knit along contest. So when I went to the knitting place, which is a really wonderful store, she has in amazing, amazing stuff. They really are on top of the pulse of what's going on in the knitting world. I was looking for something different and something that really screamed out to me. And I found these stitch holders, and I just went crazy. Stitch markers. These are artisan glass stitch markers. It says "and progress keepers," but I don't think these are all stitch markers. I think that just is her shop has artisan glass stitch markers and progress keepers. These are a set of, I think, 6 artisan glass stitch markers. And I saw the mushroom, but it was the fox and the skunk that pushed me over the edge. These were just adorable. These were just absolutely adorable. I think there's actually even a little sheep in here. I can't get him out. I can't tell if that's a hedgehog or a sheep. These were just so cute. They were just so cute. So I got this for our knit along to give away. So I don't have my iPad back down here with me. Unfortunately, I brought down as much as I could. God knows what else I left upstairs. So I'm going to go over to Ravelry first. And I'm going to pull up the thread. And yes, I absolutely was prepared the last time. But this time, yeah, the wheels came off the bus. Okay, we had 18. So if I take off mine, we had 17 entries. So I am going to put 2 through 18 into my random number generator, which I am going to clear out. Oh, I don't know what I did. Okay, so we're going to clear that out. Okay, and I'm going to put from 2 to 18 in there, and we are going to pick number 8 is the winner. All right, so let's go back to Ravelry. Actually, we could have just gone back. Okay, what did I say, 8? Did you ever just get up and know you 8? Okay, you shouldn't record that day. Yeah, I think this was one of those days. Okay, number 8. Number 8 is Linda, L-M-E-C-O-L-L. I don't know how to pronounce your Ravelry name, but oh my, these are, I'm going to show that it's number 8 right there. You can see number 8. I'll make that bigger. There you go, number 8. And these are Linda's Piece of My Heart socks, which are, oh gosh, they're beautiful. Linda, those are really, really pretty. Like, as in, I think I might need to knit those. Love, love, love those socks. So Linda, you are the winner of these artisan glass stitch markers for your beautiful Piece of My Heart socks. I know you put in several absolutely stunning finished objects and really, really participated in this knit along. So I thank you and everybody who put in all of your beautiful work that you started after the 1st of January. Linda, send me a PM on Ravelry with your full name and address, and I will get these stitch markers out in the mail to you. Let me know if you all are interested in doing another cowl. I'm more than happy to do it. I'm thinking probably something more along the lines of a smaller item than to try. I mean, this whole cowl actually started because a bunch of us wanted to do the Comfort Fade cardigan, and God bless her. There's only one person that actually did finish it. Mine is sitting. I think I got this much done on it. I don't know why. I just went on to, I think I went on to the squared, and the Comfort Cardi just fell by the wayside. Not that I don't want to finish it. But then I realized that a lot of people really just don't want to make or commit to something that big in a cowl. And I know me. If I have a deadline, I could be up to the last 3 inches of sleeves, and if a deadline is looming, I'm going to drag my feet, even after having done all that work. So I'm not a great deadline knitter either. If it's something like a pair of socks, like when I did the Desert Vista Dye Works last year, you know, a pair of socks a month, that was not a big deal. That was totally doable. I didn't feel pressure. So if you guys want to continue along and do another knit along, I would be happy to do that if you all want to participate. Put your ideas below. If it's something that you're interested in doing, let me know. Put a comment in the comment section below. Give me some ideas, some suggestions of what you'd want to do. We could do an open one like we did this time. You know, just pick a cast on date and a finish date, and whatever you cast on and finish between that time, that's fine. You're welcome to enter that. If you want to make it a specific item, like say leave it to socks or mitts, or pick a category and do that, that's fine too. Whatever you guys want to do. I am just so grateful for the participation that we had, that I am open to anything. I don't care. Whatever you guys want to do is fine with me. I'm happy to just go pick the prize and pick the winner. I'm thrilled to do that, because honestly, you know, it's sometimes you just feel like you're just kind of talking to yourself. And for me, that's not an unusual thing. I mean, if you see me in the grocery store, chances are you're going to see me talking to myself. I just do. That's me. But to do it for an hour, sort of on a weekly basis, that's a little bit more than, you know, and you kind of start to wonder, is anybody really listening? But I do know that a lot of you have been commenting and participating, and I just want to say that I am so, so very grateful for that. I am grateful for every single one of you that spends and takes the time to spend with me when I record. I am very, very grateful for that. If you want to be notified of every new episode that goes up, you just need to hit that subscribe button, which is over here or over here. And then next to the subscribe button, because I didn't know this, next to the subscribe button is a bell. If you click on the bell and turn on notifications, then you will be notified of new episodes going up. It's not just clicking the subscribe button. You have to click that bell to turn on the notifications. And then every time I upload an episode, whether it's a vlog episode or a podcast episode, you'll be notified. So if you're interested in doing that, please do. In the meantime, I don't know how much of what I said got out there. The weather here today, it was near 80 degrees. Yesterday it was 40 degrees. Tomorrow is supposed to again be 80 degrees. And then on Sunday it's supposed to be freezing with ice cold rain. So there's spring for you. I hope you all are enjoying some better spring weather than we are here. Although I cannot complain today and tomorrow. And as long as it doesn't cancel baseball, I say let it go. I hope, again, you had wonderful holidays, are knitting on things that you enjoy and that are making you happy. Next week, I think we're going to do a little talk about what is weighing you down. because I actually did put in the thread, apologizing for the delay, that I was seriously thinking. I had taken Clara Park's class on Craftsy about busting your stash. And I'm seriously thinking about really jumping in and just doing that, because I know when I frogged all of those UFOs and I cleaned all that up, that I felt so much better about my knitting and what I had on my knitting. So I think maybe we'll talk about that next week. Maybe we want to do a swap. I certainly don't want to swap. I want to get rid of. So I'm happy if I go through it. Somebody, wants to share yarn, you want to swap yarn, whatever, however it will make you. But the reason I say this is because I hope you're knitting on something that makes you happy. And if you have things that are dragging you down or aren't making you happy, frog them. Frog them, repurpose the yarn, give away the yarn. Clara Parks, again, I will go into this next week, has a lot of suggestions of what you can do with yarn that you don't want any longer or aren't going to use. So that may be something that we all want to think about. But in the meantime, I wish you all a very good week. I wish you happy knitting, and remember to knit with sense.